All the delegates are requested to occupy their seats. Please.
For the south or east, for the south and the Patil and south.
All the participants are requested to occupy their seats, please. I request all the delegates to put their mobile phone on silent mode. Definitely, you have made all of us proud by your distinguished work in numerous capacities. You are one of the most respected person in academics and administration. President of the function, Honorable Dr. Ashok Patil, and Executive Chairman of PRES, the man of distinct vision and fountainhead of illuminating ideas and idol of knowledge and experience and inspiration to all of us. Dignitaries on the dais, Major General Neeraj Bali, who is Chief Executive Officer of PRES, Mr. Prakash Deshmukh, General Manager HAL, and Mr. Bharat Bogre, Joint Secretary PRES Loni. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp and symbolically inaugurate this program. Sir. Next, I would like to call upon our respected principal, Dr. R.S. Jahagirdar, the sculptor of human character, a seasoned scholar, and navigator of this flagship of knowledge, to present a welcome address and introduction of the summit.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Industry Institute Interaction Summit 2016 at the Pravara Rural Engineering College, Loni. Myself, R.S. Jahagirdar, basically a mechanical engineer and doing the work in prominently in the fuel and the internal combustion engines. I welcome all the delegates. Chronically, I will read out the industry who have accepted our invitation. They have taken all the pains to come down such a distance and with a very maybe a short notice that they have come down, they have accepted our invitation. I am really welcoming all these industries and also thankful to them that they have accepted our invitation and come down here for the interactions. The main purpose of this program, that theme what we have thought that with at India we talk only about the research, but unfortunately the research which is taking place maybe at the in the academia or at the institute or the what industry requires, it is not reaching the research which is carried out by the institute. It is not reaching either to the industry or the industry what it requires. It is not reaching to the academia. So here we are invited Dr. V.S. Sapka, Chairman of All India Board for the postgraduate courses and the research wing of the AICTE. AICTE is considered to be the supreme body for regulating and establishing the practices in the engineering, pharmacy, all the professional courses rather I will say. And it's a great honor, sir, that you have accepted our invitation and all the way come down to have the good interactions and rather the good input from the industry we will take it. This summit with industry institute interaction is the initialization, or rather I would say the initiation that our honorable chairman Dr. Vikhe Patil has taken. He told that yes, we need to bring the industry and the bosses of the regulating body, that is the AICT, on the one platform, what the industry needs, that if it can be conveyed to the AICT, they will make the accordingly changes, and maybe the next syllabus, next part of the syllabus, which is expected to uh, develop maybe from the 2017, that the implementation will be there, and the gap, what we say, 10 to 15 years of the gap between the teaching and academia and the industry may reduce to the 2 or 3 years distance, or maybe in the next 5 years or so, the academia will be ahead of the what industry is looking for, so that they will get a good input. I welcome Prakash Deshmukh, the governing body member of this engineering college and the former chairman of the HN, Dr. Sagar, a great academician, principal MIT, and the governing body member of this institute. The various representatives from the industry, Alpha Level, Mr. Gaikwad, from the Saj Test Plant, Prakash Jagtap, Mr. Praveen Marwar from the Catapoma, Dr. Rode from NCL Academia, Mr. Mrs. Neha Savande from the Aquatech Pune, Mr. Representative from the ZF Steering, welcoming from the Eton India, Rajesh Pewan, who is also the chairman of the Deccan Industry Association. I welcome him. Mr. Rajesh Hegde, KSH International Private Limited, I really thankful to you, sir, that you have accepted our invitation. Merely a 48 hours rather I have given you, and really you accepted this our invitation. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Amit Mallas from the Qatar Doha Nasik. He is our ex-student, and he is the principal environmental engineer. And I welcome you from the Tata Motors, Mr. S.P. Patil, Anand Yadav from R&D Department of the Grease Cotton Limited, Aurangabad, Mr. Harshal Dikre from the Opulent Infotech Private Limited, Mr. Vinod Aher from the Delta Finochem, Mr. Sharad Magar from the Bhuvnath India Private Limited, Kishore Nirmal from the Prabhat Udyog Daily Samarth Samuha, Dr. J.B. Bormane from the Thermax India Private Limited, and a friend of our chairman, Dr. Ashok Patil, Mahavir Gargat. Really, sir, there are no words to explain. Yesterday evening when he called me that yes, I am coming. I can say that was one of my happiest moments, and really we are honored that you have come down here. Thank you, sir, and welcome to this summit. Joint Director of the Director of Technical Education, he is expected maybe in the afternoon, Mr. T.P. Nath. T.P. Nathe, he is expected to come down. The theme of this Industry Institute is Research in Education in Engineering and Technology under the AICT, developing model PG curricula and the research matching expectation of the industry and the global challenges under the AICT, projects into problem solving for industry and the research and converting it into the patents, developing strong industry linkages with the institution. The purpose of this meet is to ascertain present day and the future industrial requirement of a quality manpower, interaction and guidance to the students and the faculty. Here at the program, we have taken the innovative way that every faculty will be visiting once in a year for 1 week, that is for 5 days. They will be visiting the industry, taking the stock, studying the various departments, studying the methodology which is implemented at the industry, and explaining it to the students so that the students will prepare themselves. Sorry, I forgot the one more name. From the Praj Industry R&D, Mr. Suktankar. Sir, you are welcome to this institute, and I am very much thankful for accepting our invitation. We are expecting the outcome, that is the percolation of need of research among the students, identification of the project based on the industry problem, creation of database of problem in industry like energy audit, recovery of the byproducts, then the environment, filing the patent, whatever the innovative work which we are doing, that helping for filing the patents, funding for the research under the various organization like MSME, which is the under the Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Scale Enterprises for funding. Once again, I will I am welcoming all of you, my various faculty members, the principals from the various engineering colleges, the technical institute, all of them are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your earnest welcome address. Now, I'd like to call upon our president of the function, Honorable Dr. Ashok Patil, sir, to share his words.
Today's chief guest, Dr. Sabkal, respected members on the dais, and my colleagues. We are actually here to listen, and we would like to listen to you. Before we do that, I just want to take this opportunity that this industry institute interaction is happening because when I learned that Dr. Sabkal has become the chairman, I called to congratulate him. And then we discussed that we must listen to people who are going to use our manpower. Because I have been in industry for 40 years and I have a lot of colleagues and friends. And I found that there's a big gap in what we are providing and what is needed. And so, how do we, and the only person who can really make a difference is here, the postgraduate course of AICT. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for all of us to share with him. But at the same time, I also thought that we and the industry also must understand the viewpoint from the academia. So this is a tripart, right? Because every issue has two sides, and everybody thinks is right. So we're not here to discuss what is right and wrong, but what we feel should be done. And I don't think the problems of industry tries to solve itself by collaborating, by working in their R&D lab, going here, finding a consultant. But when we have, how many colleges you say we have? 3,500 engineering colleges teaching post-graduation. And then industry is crying for trained manpower because I know how it feels. So we felt that this would be a enough opportunity to make a difference. And just before I open, I would like to explain to my colleagues what Pravara is, because it's probably one of the first such interactions in the history of AICT, where industry is talking to AICT, which is making up the curriculum and the teaching methodology and how the teachers will be selected. Pravara has been having a passion of changing lives. Pravara, and I would like to give you a short PowerPoint presentation on what Pravara is, so you get an idea why we are here. The only reason is that we are here like to make a difference. We are totally philanthropic, and there is only, and that is why we are very, very rural. And I'd like to show you what rurality means for us. Switch off the light. Loni is a called Loni Pura model by Dr. Kalam, which was provision of urban amenities in rural areas. We actually work only for empowering rural communities, including women, through cooperation, collaboration, and education. And we started this venture in 1948. Now this is a very classical diagram which every community, every society, every country is facing. And a lot of Nobel Prizes have been won, though problems persist. That start with poverty, leads to illiteracy, illiteracy is disease and health problems, non-productive. But Pravara, thanks to Padmashri Vikhe Patil, he broke this cycle. He started with a first cooperative sugar factory here in 1948. And when you got money, we felt that people must be educated. We work in all kinds of education, including skill development. And to deal with health, we have the world's first rural medical university in Loni called Pravara Institute of Medical Sciences. And we work, and then we are working towards empowerment, which I'll show you how we do. This is our visionary founder. This is a picture 60 years ago, 65 years ago. And he taught us basically two things. One is empathy for the poor. Very bala answer Devudu. Second is all human beings are created. Thirdly, every decision we take here is human centric. It's not issue centric, it's not subject centric, it is related to human being. Human being is the center. And last but not the least, that every decision should be having gender sensitivity and gender equality as its goal, because 50% population is of the other gender. And these are the only four basic pillars our society stands on. If you look at the first board of directors of sugar factory, he, being a very smart person, he requested Dr. Vithalrao to become the chairman. And then there was one ex-army gentleman who had given land here, who knew English. So my grandfather asked him to become the managing director. The rest didn't know English. And this is how the first cooperative factory in this village. Now you have arrived here, you know how difficult it is to come to Loni. In 2016, this picture is of 1948. So in Loni still is in a very remote place. And if I studied, I'm sure if you studied MBA as per AICTE norm and followed all the procedures and all the rules of how to start a business, where to start a business, communication, transport, on all those roads, and you would have never been able to start a sugar factory. Dr. Garkir, he has written an essay on Pravara, and very important point he made is that Pravara sugar factory, his first sugar factory was based on the model of economic democracy. That means how many shares you have, how much money you have, how much sugar cane you have, you can only have one vote. And there was hardly anything then, and we are now in 2016, so it was basically issue of sound leadership. And this model is now today based on social justice and equality. And we have industrial, educational, agriculture, banking, health, empowerment activities in these villages. I'm very happy to tell you that in this drought last year, in these 50 to 100 villages, not a single family left these villages to move to cities. That is what we call empowerment. Jawaharlal Nehru, Padmashri Vikhe Patil, my grandfather, he always wished that this factory should be inaugurated by Mr. Nehru. Mr. Nehru landed in his plane, the airport was built here. And this is what he said then. In 61, this is an example for all India. And I tell you that in 2015 also this is an example for all India. Now, if you look at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted in 1948, it is very simple. Right to work, human dignity, health and well-being. And Pravara started this not knowing what is human rights in 1948. If you look at the Millennium Development Goals adopted by the World Health Assembly, it was a collective responsibility to offer principles of human dignity, equality, and equity. And Pravara started this in 1948. So these are the Millennium Development Goals, and we are working on all the goals. Extreme poverty, I'll show you through our presentation, education, gender equity, child mortality, maternal health, diseases, environment sustainability, and global partnership. We work in all the areas here. If you look at the cooperative movement, since it started, it is very interesting to understand that 99% of the shareholders are less than 1 to 1.5 acres. The economic democracy is in the hand of small farmers. And if you look at the money that has come, the capital that has been generated by the sugar factory, it comes to about 7,000 crores. And it has gone to the small farmers. Education. First, English medium, the Pravara Education Society started with English medium public school in a village. I must say that Padmashri dared to start an English medium residential public school in a village in 1964. And today, these are the different trusts and the Pravara group. You can see that we have, in fact, the figure there of 39,000 is not correct. It is 41,000. This figure, this is 41,000. So we have been expanding in education. We have a lot of residential campuses under all combinations, and we have almost 10,000 students studying in, living in the campus. Next. Okay. These are the number of graduates that have come out from our different institutes. And we keep on, and except two schools, all are rural schools. The two schools in Pune which I started was an experiment. Tell the people of Pune that we can make better schools. Today the Pravara Education Society has 41,000 students. And I am very happy to tell you that out of this 41, this is a whole figure, 47% are girl students. So these 47 rural girls would not have studied. Just to on the lighter side, the chief of security of White House comes from this college. And this is a girl from a nearby village. Her name is Palange. She studied electronics. If you see why this figure has come here in red and in blue, the government of Maharashtra closed down 2,500 schools last year, and our number of students are gone. Now, I really do not know what mistakes we are doing on the government of Maharashtra. The number of research papers in the last 1 year published by Pravara Education Society and the number of patents are seen here. I don't want to go into details. We also work a lot on vocational education and training. We also run CK and field courses. We have the ITIs and number of students passing out 1,000. We, until from, since we started in 64, from the schools and colleges, 217,000 students, rural students have passed. We also support students. We have the we have the poor student fund which we fund. We have a girls student education fund. The first earn and learn scheme in India was started in Pravaranagar in 1971. Now the government of India has accepted that. And we also have an education promotion scheme. So this is the amount that has been funding for poor students, rural students by society. Some of the achievements, we don't want to hide ourselves saying that we are rural so we cannot give quality. I always tell my staff that if this institute is not good enough for my child to study, I have no business to run it. So we would like to have the best possible quality education which you can afford anywhere in the world. And that is why we run 5 colleges. All the 5 are NAC accredited A. One of the colleges has got the status of College of Excellence. In Maharashtra, there may be 5 or 10. We run 35 PG programs and 8 PhD programs. We are ISO certified education society. We also have a joint venture with the Rajiv Gandhi Commission, Nehru Science Center, and we have created a science center to promote science in rural by doing this. And this is the only society where 2% of the seats are reserved for girls of serving soldiers. And it is not reserved, it is reserved free. That is very important. We have been focusing on placement, and if you, because finally what we are doing for, we are working towards giving them better jobs or they become entrepreneurs. And This is the situation of placement. This year we have placed 1,423 students, not only from engineering, from all faculties in industry in India. In banking, in pharmaceutical industry, in chemical industries, in all kinds of industries. Last year we have placed 1,268. The engineering college this year has placed about 300 students out of this 1,423. The most important other thing is that we have now embarked on skill development program of the government of India, and we will be starting 14 centers having 554 courses, and 2,000 students will be studying in these skills. They from 5th standard to a graduate of all kinds, including the list is very big, but most of it is useful to the industry. And we are basically focusing on school dropouts because, as Dr. Saptal has said, a high enrollment ratio for higher education in India, the government says 16%, I say 12%, let's say 14%. But so when 100 children go to school in a village, only one becomes a graduate. We have a dropout of 99%. And this will be focusing. The other issue in rural area where we are talking about accessible finance. One of the major reasons for farmer suicide is accessible finance. We have our own cooperative bank and it's a scheduled bank. As I said, we have started the world's first rural medical university called the Pravara Institute of Medical Sciences, having collaboration with 25 countries, 25 universities around the world. And these are the it is very interesting to understand that this is probably the only medical college and university which actually started a hospital because there was no medical service. When we started the hospital, we realized that we are not getting nurses. We started a nursing college. When we started nursing college, we realized we are not getting doctors. So we started our medical college. So this is the only where college didn't start first, the hospital started. And I'm proud to tell you, this is the first medical college in the history of Medical Council of India where the graduates got recognition and had the graduation certificate approved by MCI when they came out of college. You know how difficult it is to get an MCI approved in cities. And again, this was another input to help farmers to have more income. Water is a big problem. So we have been doing a lot of watershed management projects, which encompasses thousands of hectares. This is what we are talking about women empowerment activity. We work with about 1,200 self-help groups. The amount of turnover is about 7 crores. So this self-help group is also activity of the Pravara group. This is very interesting. We are working towards a cashless, paperless institute and organization. 40 villages are connected through internet and daily. This is the services offered to the farmers free of cost. He can find out which market has a cheaper price, higher price. He can find out where to sow, where to harvest because he is connected to the NASA satellite, which gives the right weather information. In fact, because of this, about 30 students of ours are studying or working abroad because they had access to information. So they applied online from the village, and 3 of them from village that are studying in Germany. So information access becomes very important. We believe in transparency. If you look at the development indicator, I would say the achievement of Loni is here. If you compare with anything with the government, Loni has achieved. Now the death rate is 9.7 is the national average, we have 4.5. But basically birth rate, as you develop, the birth rate goes down. It's gone down. So I was telling you the Millennium Development Goals, infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate. If you look at the diseases, we are better off. If you look at the standard of living, the higher standard of living has gone up and the lower has gone down. So this is what the the Pravara model Dr. Kalam talks about. And Dr. Kalam listed this place as a president. This is his website. I copied from his website what Pura model is and how we have achieved it. And this is what he said when he.
Dear friends, I have so far visited all the states in the country and also junior states. I have met 800,000 students below 17 years. Most of the students, girls and boys, they ask one question. Mr. President, can you help me? I want to follow a good role model. I am carrying a message from the Loni village. The message is there are three generations, a Vithalrao, and Vikhe Patil, and Ashok Patil. They are the role models for the society.
This is the message he left here in Loni when he was the president. Beautiful minds, creative minds, and noble minds.
तर मग आहे की ऑक्सफर्ड हार्वर्डला विद्यार्थ्यांनी जाण्यापेक्षा लोणीला या म्हणून आमची आता संकल्पना अशी आहे की नॉलेज शुड बिकम द बेस्ट फॉर रुरल डेव्हलपमेंट आणि त्याच्यासाठी आता आमचं नवं स्लोगन असं आहे तर थिंक ग्लोबली ऍक्ट लोकली.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your excellent presentation.
I would now like to request our chief guest to inaugurate our e-journal of science and technology, where all the research papers published by our organization will be available to you online free of cost. And I would like to request him to inaugurate journal electronics.
Friends, I would like to inform you that the live telecast of this program is available on pravara.in and pravaraeng.org.in on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the inauguration of the Pravara Journal. Thank you. Now it's time for open discussion. I request all the honorable industry delegates to participate in the open discussion and contribute their valuable suggestions for the betterment of the curriculum and research. Now I request Major General Neeraj Bali to take on the dais. Thank you.
For the 41 years that I served in the army, I never heard the word engineering college. So it's extremely risky to ask me to come up here and moderate a discussion on this matter. But then, as an ex-soldier, I also obey orders, so I'm here. We all understand why we are doing this discussion, which is really the heart of the matter. We in PREC and in PRES wish to serve as an outstanding resource for the industry, for the academia, and for the community and society as a whole. Now, there are obvious gaps between what the colleges produce and what the industry wants and what the society wants. In many cases, regrettably, some of our children are completely unemployable at the end of their education. And it is interaction like this which is aimed at finding out your valuable views, your ideas, your suggestions, and your feedback on what we should be doing to improve the higher education, as well as how we can make our education more relevant to your needs. There are simple rules. Please feel free to speak on any subject that you think is relevant. Ask any question, make any comment. Try to be brief, but that's also not a rule.
You can direct the questions, of course, at Dr. Sapkal, and you must, because this opportunity you will not get again. But you're also free to direct the questions not only at anyone at the dais, but to each other. Just give out the name of your own name and the name of the organization. I hope to speak very little after this. The stage is yours. Yeah, let's have a first question. If there are no questions, I'll be asking some.
I will ask.
Okay.
I will start. I will start.
You want to start?
I think I will start. Sir, education per se and technically around the world is not really regulated. I find that Indian education at every level is most controlled and most regulated. Why there is such a need?
Thank you for that question, Dr. Ashok Vikhe Patil, sir. As you know, in our country, we have different levels of educational pattern as well as regulations and monitoring. The traditional thinking is just to receive school education and evaluated your memory by way of examination. And you will be surprised to, of course, you must be also wondering that now CBSE results when it comes out, the girls and boys dancing with 98% in hand, 99%, and there was a shock at that in state toppers could not give answers to basic questions in one of the states. So it has really created then confusion in the minds of society. Whether our school level education, junior level education, junior college education, undergraduate education, postgraduate education, they are really fulfilling the mandate or duties prescribed either in the constitution or act, whether they are really fulfilling or not. And it is understood very clearly that more we try to regulate, more we try to control, we are moving away from the objectives. What is necessary, like as you know, that affiliation system does not exist anywhere in the world except in India. A university is affiliated or overburdened by number of colleges affiliated to university, and large number of students are taking education in various colleges. Now it is very much necessary that a college like this is having visiting teams, one from university, one from director technical education, one from government of Maharashtra, one from AICT. So many committees coming and trying to control, evaluate, regulate. Instead of that, if you see in US or in open access learning programs, 30,000 programs are available online. They don't need anybody, anywhere, anytime is the slogan. Anywhere that anytime you can learn, and if you want certification, then you apply for examination and then give examination. It is called the knowledge earning, the credit earning in the form of credit earning, and not the degree or what you call mark sheets through examination. So I do agree with you, sir, that there is over regulation, over monitoring, over controlling, and we have to move away from that and by way of reforms. Reforms in the form of new pattern of examination and evaluation. It is basically to evaluate how much student is learning by mapping his ability, mapping his competency, mapping his skill level, and meeting the expectations of the industries, corporate sectors. And if you see the new dynamics of learner, They don't need to go to the colleges or school or classroom to learn. And hence we should also have the open reforms or open system to evaluate them. For that matter, in some institutions you have open book exam and all these things. So instead of memorizing, you need to now really see that whether the students have updated his ability, updated his skill, whether it is computational skill, designing skill, ability to, for that matter, learning skill and listening skill also. If you ask question without understanding question, students try to reply. Basically, industries, I am very happy and I should congratulate Dr. Patil for really organizing this summit, inviting what is this is my he is helping me to do my job as chairman, all India chairman of PG education and research in engineering. That what is happening in engineering education, particularly uh, postgraduate education and then research. I am going to of course talk more, but we go one by one, and I would like to listen and I would like to get feedback from you, from industries, that at graduate level students, what you expect in terms of job profile and in terms of required sets of skills. Second is about postgraduate level students, what you expect. And finally, if you have, say, doctorate students, in the changing scenario of Make in India, we are not going to just become a manufacturing site here. We are going to develop, say, state-of-art, innovative ways of manufacturing knowledge-driven industries like pharma biotech industry. And we want to start, of course, as you know, that incubation and innovation. Basically, we want to start up from here itself. So we want to also attract a lot of foreign companies to start manufacturing here. And for that matter, you need not only engineers, but you need engineering talent coming to the industry. In earlier days, I remember that only engineers are employed by the industry just to maintain the specifications provided by the technology providers. They are not allowed to even change a pump because they say that if you deviate from our specification, we won't stand for the guarantee. So basically, our engineers used to only do the mechanically the job, monotonous, without applying mind. But after the opening of 1991, our and the global market and the competition, now our role of our engineers at undergraduate, postgraduate, and also research level have changed drastically. So I would like to, because I have met some of the industrialists across, they are from R&D, they are also from production, they are also projects, and some of them are from international projects, upstream, downstream, refinery. So basically, we would like to know more and more. I'm going to take your suggestions to the national level, AICT in India, where we have 3,500 engineering colleges, running more than 2,000 PG programs, have variety of structures in PG program, that is ME and MTech, no correlation between the credits and the marks, and evaluation patterns different, nomenclature of degrees are different. We are going to standardize this. And for that, we want to really come out, not only to meet your expectation, but we have one more dimension, that we have to reverse what last year 1,33,000 students have migrated to US for doing MS and PhD, and without scholarship. And one MS means you have to shell out something like 50 to 60 lakhs rupees. But nevertheless, our engineering graduates are accepted for international masters program. But why don't we also, and the teachers there also are Indians, only location in US. Why don't we have the similar infrastructure, opportunities, way of content? The contents are the same, but the delivery is different. We can also have in India, so that we only not only retain our engineering talent, but also attract students from abroad, not exactly from US, but from other parts of the country, parts of the world. So my request is basically kindly give your suggestions, your expectations on curriculum, on set of skills as required by the industry, and what is happening in the education field, particularly engineering, graduates, postgraduates, and research. Because in research, we have our faculty members also involved in research, and we want to now very closely associated at all the three levels. And I'm going to explain that how we are going to do it. but I would like to get feedback from industry people on requirement of say basically undergraduate students. What you expect? That is, you people say that they are not employable, they don't know basics, fundamentals are not clear. So we would like to know from you that what are your expectations as compared to the job profiles or job responsibilities they have to handle in the world of work, and accordingly we will make the changes. Your participation in now in teaching learning process is very much required, not only in the framing the syllabus but execution of syllabus. Up to 20% of the syllabus can be executed by the experts from industry. So basically, this is what we are trying to now change and bring together. Other than next step is all the projects, undergraduate and postgraduate will be industry relevant and industry sponsored also, and so on. So we are going to develop those strategies. But I would like some of you to please speak on. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Inderpal Singh, heading HR of Pravara Dairy. Head HR of Pravara Dairy Limited. Sir, with respect to what just you have mentioned, uh, I have prepared something. I mean, got something. So require at least 10 to 12 minutes to explain that particular. With respect to what actually industry requires. Thank you so much. Okay, confirm.
So that the people can also disappear.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Hello. Yeah. These are just very basic things. But when at the one side of the dais, I mean the one side of the desk, when we interview people, we face a lot of challenges. Sir has rightly said that when industry always say that we don't get those the kind of candidates, those who are called or defined as employable. So I have a few things just to share. I mean, how we look at the candidate. Who is the candidate actually? He is a product. Candidate is nothing but a product which is ready to be sold in the job market. And what is the CV? What is the resume? Resume is nothing but the advertising document of that particular product, right? So the competition is stiff. Sir has mentioned, and even Patil sir has shown the thousands and lakhs of students are getting passed out. So the competition is tough for getting a good job or a dream job. Now, what is a quality candidate? A candidate who possesses certain prerequisites or competencies which are essential for the performance of a business function. Such prerequisites or competencies can be classified roughly into two: the personal attributes or personal competencies, or professional competencies. Like this, they are very basic things. A simple personality. We don't need a very high-fi guy. It's a very simple personality. Clarity in thoughts. He must have clarity in thoughts. Honesty in approach. This is what I'm talking about, the personal attributes. Honesty in approach, should not lie, should not mislead. If does not know, then he should accept in the interview, sorry sir, I don't know this, right? Excellent English communication skills, that is a prerequisite, because today the entire world has become global village of business. So people are traveling from this country to other country. Excellent interpersonal skills. You have to work in teams, so that is a prerequisite. Positive attitude, and also never say die kind of attitude. That is also required. Keen on new learnings. No person cannot be cannot grow in a particular job with those which he had learned somewhere in college or schools. So a person should keep on learning new things which are relevant to the job. Then yes, of course, must be a good team member. Sorry, no, no politics. That is also required. We expect a person to contribute. So, if a person brings in sort of that particular stuff, then it jeopardizes the entire, the spirit of the team and the organization. And one more, my advice to my young friends: please do not write any such thing to impress which you do not know.
which you have not actually done. This is what I try to focus from the personal development. And there are certain basic proficiencies. Clear understanding of basic knowledge. We don't expect those from the freshers that they are coming with huge, great knowledge or having great research knowledge. No, you are freshers, we understand. If you have basic knowledge of your own core area, that's absolutely fine. The rest, industry very well knows how to develop the person and convert him or her into a professional. Of course, a little amount of business proficiency because you need to understand when you are performing into your function, you need to understand the challenges of the business. Then, of course, little bit financial proficiencies, little bit leadership proficiencies, and update to latest what is happening in your core area. That is also required. Now, how can a candidate possess or develop these basic proficiencies? My sincere advice to my youngsters, please do not miss your classes. Because you never know when your what professor is going to tell you or share you. Maybe you might have attended all 365 days, all 364 days, missed one. Then you never know what you're going to miss. Because those learnings which are imparted during those days, you never know where you are going to get utilized in your future careers. Do not complete your tutorials, assignments just as formalities. You always go for value addition. Try to see what value add you guys can be. And please do not copy your seminars. Do not copy your seminars, write-ups and projects. Always try to prepare on your own. Do something different. Take full part in professional events management. You understand the practical things when you manage on your own. And definitely when you attend the industry internship, don't attend it as a part of just formalities because if you don't attend, the professor may not give you marks. Please attend it with the intention of learning something because that is the greatest opportunity for you guys to see the industry, what is happening in your core area. Try to dig out. Yes, the managers may not have time, but try to see how you can get this time so that you get the practical learnings out of that. And absolutely, work rigorously to prepare your projects in consultation with your project guide as well as your professors. And what is important is that nowadays the mentoring in the colleges are also being imparted. Though the professors are keen, the management is keen, but sometimes, as a student, we are not keen. That's an important part. So you guys must take interest. You guys must allow your professors to mentor. So this is from how a candidate possesses and develop, the proficiency. Now, I would like to come to the role of institute and the faculty members. So what is important is that professors also need to go to the level of students' understanding. There are challenges when kids are coming from various backgrounds, various demographics. So everybody may not have the same kind of understanding. That is also important. Value-added teaching, my dear friends, are very important. If you keep on just going through the concepts which are given in the subject, we are given the books, which we are referring since last 2-3 decades. So students will also lose the interest into that. Try to correlate those things with respect to what is happening latest in the industrial environment. And mentoring process, again, coming back to the same point, but from the perspective of the teachers, mentoring is very important. If proper mentoring is being provided, you would be able to develop and convert a student into an employable student and a professional. And encouraging students to organize professional events on their own. And you guys just guide them as mentors.
Your comment on particularly dairy business. You are from
So it's not only on dairy business. It's just a generalized I'm putting this way.
Yeah.
Because I worked in pharma also. I worked in agrobase seed pesticide fertilizer company also.
Maybe for the benefit of audience, you can give some case study what they should. It's generally definitely it's very good, but any specific case study that what they should look at for career in pharma industry or career in process industry or career in so that will be beneficial. That should be reflected as a part of their study.
Sir, I'm coming to that particular area. Actually, topic is very right. I mean, research, which is important. What is happening nowadays? We are getting production managers, quality managers. We are not getting R&D managers. Either we are compromising on certain area, putting some quality person or some production person, trying to do something out of that. So this is really missing. You know, if we take
What do you expect from R&D manager?
so R&D manager should come up with very value added products. Say for example, if we look at Tata Nano, it can be quoted as an example of Indian engineering excellence. How these people have developed indigenously a car which can be sold just for one lakh rupees. And this is the first product. They initially they did not go for any advertisement, but the kind of attention this product has got, it speaks out about that. But when we talk about the R&D, we try to see that how, apart from value addition, how the the product cost can also be reduced. So these are certain things. So wherein we look at from the perspective of how value-added product with the lowest cost can be introduced in the market.
Do you suggest that whatever you have mentioned about the skills, different types of professional and personal skill, you think that industry experts can help institutions to cover up these aspects?
Absolutely, definitely.
That means we can suggest that this this aspect we should try to say invite like through guest sessions.
Absolutely.
From industry expert we can do it. Okay?
Yes.
Maybe it can be part of the curriculum.
Absolutely. And just last one point I would like to suggest. Thanks to sir has shared that 5 days in a year their faculties go to, to industry. But I would like to say that ये बड़ी नाइंसाफी है. That's just my own opinion, and because it's need based. Why I'm saying this? If we make our curriculum 50% academic, maybe theoretical, and 50% or maybe 60-40 ratio, the practical learning has to be there. And if these kids are being given frequently every month at least one live project in their own core area, with the supported by the faculty, if they are going to the industry, learning there, doing some value addition, learning and coming back and creating something different. So that would be, today we are, most of 80% of the colleges in India, they are just teaching whatever has been mentioned in the book. And in the name of project, they do something at the end of the year. If it is being continued through the sessions, through the curriculum, that will give effort. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I will request other participants to make comments. But as Dr. Sapkal very kindly sort of guided us, let's have questions about education and industry and how it can help. Thank you.
What I have seen, what the graduate students is coming out of colleges, what is that? The basic things what you see, we do not have a ready-made student which can work in industry. Like in abroad, when they pass out, they have free universal practice training and their operation practice training OPT, where they go on. So basically, I will not agree with my friend. Technically, the things can be developed. Again, your knowledge can be enhanced. But soft skills, particularly attitudes and behaviors, which is matter, and communication is must. Communication skill, attitude, behavior matter should be most. So coming to the post-graduation and research, what I have observed in India, basically we are doing the fundamental research in biotechnology, pharma, and in some extent, IT and software industry. And in most of the industries which are having a multinational collaboration, they have got the research wings sitting the development. But the things matter because of the geographical distances, conditions differ. So why not to come out with some courses which can show the difference to take the adaptability to our country's nation. Thirdly, we have a big challenges in the country on the environment, then clean and green technology, pollution,
So why not we have some collaboration to the government on such projects? Because ultimately industries are also running as a business schools. These they are coming here, minting the profit from India, and taking the money out. So if these things are inducted in the course, I think that would be great.
Sir, if I may want to say something.
Just 1 second for that. That's an excellent 3 points made, and I, as a outsider who's just arrived here, can relate to one. Before I came here, like all Faujis do, I went to several colleges, including Dr. Sheet Sagar's college, and to various industrial houses just to learn and to find out as to what is going on and how I can do this job. And believe me, the number one requirement everyone cited, number one, was the soft skills you mentioned. That is the first thing everybody mentions is what people lack. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Pratil, I'm from Patil, from
And
Patil. Hello, I'm Dr. Amit, and I've come from Volleyball Qatar. I think I do agree with the gentleman that past in industrial experience is nine Sabi. That's definitely true. But at the same time, I'm a product of the same AICTE education, and I'm I should definitely say that. It is a credit, yes. What we have is the curriculum definitely is good, yes, but a lot of it is based on theory. You really need to have good practical experience. And as the gentleman again said, we don't expect freshers to be experts at everything. We understand if I'm recruiting a fresher, I know why I'm recruiting them for. And my expectations from them are pretty simple. But at the same time, as highlighted, I mean, yes, soft skills, definitely yes. Interpersonal skills, yes. Teamwork, very important. No engineering discipline works by itself. Chemical engineers, process engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical instrumentation, everybody works together. That is the kind of thing probably I would expect when I was studying for my engineering over here. My role was limited to my faculty, my area of campus. There was very little interaction I had. Uh, what do other engineering disciplines even do? What does instrumentation do? Why are they important? What does electrical do? It is pretty important that these disciplines also talk to each other. That's how you develop a good system. And again, coming to the point, everything now is regulated by environmental norms, which is very true. All the engineering designs and specifications that we learn right now are probably just dumped upon us. How can we make these things indigenous? The video that we just saw earlier, think globally, act locally. If we had not seen that video, I would have said these words. These were the words I heard for the first time from the person himself. Dr. Vikhe Patil was here in my first year of engineering, and I was listening, and this was one of the last quotes that he had made, and this kind of imbibed on me. Think globally, but act locally. Fine, learn from other people. Yes, learn from other cultures, learn from other education institutes. But what can you do locally? Why should I be doing my designs based on some different standards when, say, conditions in India, like climatic conditions, engineering requirements, social requirements, financial requirements are all at the same time very different. So probably, I think, and other thing is, yes, industry can definitely help. I mean, if there is a frequent interaction between industry and the ICT or the education institutes, that will definitely work. The other way to also do it, again, this comes from my bit of my experience from learning abroad and also working abroad. There's a frequent partnership between the universities and the private industries as well. Say, for example, in the UK, it is called as the Knowledge Transfer Program, KTP, in which the industry and the university pool in the money so that a project can be done. Now, what happens is that helps problem in the industry to be solved. At the same time, the student who is working on that get some hands-on experience, and that's how they become employable. When say a CV comes to me, if I see that, oh, this probably person has done something. I mean, I'm designing a wastewater treatment plant, and this person has done something in wastewater treatment plant, immediately becomes employable. Everybody may not be an expert in all subjects, right? Not in mass transfer, thermodynamics, nothing. It can be one skill that could be good, and that skill probably could be developed.
Thank you very much for some excellent points. You talked about interaction. I must let you know that what our executive chairman has decided, that we wish to institutionalize these interactions and not leave them to once in a while. And during those, we wish to elicit feedback about how our students did from the previous batches. Sometimes technologies move up, requirements change, and knowledge doesn't keep pace. So, thank you. Yeah, next.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Rajesh Pravar. I'm heading HR, Eaton Ahmednagar. So most of the essential part has been covered by my colleagues, like soft skill and teamwork, collaborative style. I would like to bring your focus on the continuous improvement in the competitive scenario. So industry wants the continuous improvement competency or the thought process of the students towards the continuous improvement is essentially required nowadays days. Because everywhere the improvement is required, even the person is our topper, there is a scope for improvement. So we are not expecting as an industry the people come and day one he started continuous improvement. Just his thought process towards any aspects to make a improvements, make a cost outs, that is essentially required and it should be a part of their curriculum. So their thought process should be go towards the continuous improvement.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Janardhan Gopal, and basically I'm representing government. I'm acting as associate manager R&D division. And thank you, sir, for enlightening us about the Pravara model. And it is really proud that feeling very proud that I am a product of Pravara Education Society. I'm basically a graduate engineer from Pravara ERES, and I'm quite fortunate that I got an opportunity to serve ERES also in early service life. I was acting as a lecturer here, and I'm quite fortunate being a research student of Dr. Vithalrao. My first question to Dr. Sapkal is that because each and every organization is trying to increase this industry institute interaction, but what are the aims and objectives of this industry institute interaction? Means, see, industry has some different objectives. I mean, their aim is to elevate their numbers to expand their business. And I think academia is looking from different perspective. I mean, what is that? As you said, one is to understand the basic requirement of industry. I mean, what skills, what characteristics students should possess. But is it that what academia is looking? Whether they are looking for some collaborative research to happen, some joint development to happen. So I wanted to understand right at the beginning what are the aims and objectives that we are looking from this industry institute in that.
Very well point question. As I told in the beginning of my speech that we are looking at interaction at three levels, just to prepare graduate engineers for the industry. Then postgraduate, I would say technical person who can take care of technical services or troubleshooting in industry. And the third level is research and development for industry. That is, after a person does PhD, what sort of interaction he should have with industry. I remember in 1991, till 1991, what was the scenario in our industry, Indian industry? It was under protection, it was under license, and it was under produce here and whatever technology you have or whatever technology you can buy from outside and sell in the Indian market. That was the scenario. But after 1991, when we open up our economy, giving access to the outsider to our market as well as we also got market accessibility. You know that 60% of our industries were of small scale industry and traditional industries, whether it was steel, steel, textile, sugar, cement, you name it, power, core industry and other industries. And when after opening our economy, we realize with this competitive world that our cost of production is very high. We cannot compete in the international market. Instead, we have made our market open to the outside product. You will be surprised to see our economy went down like anything, but still, the product which is manufactured in US or in Europe with such a high cost, with quality, still can be sold in India at a lower price than our own production here. Why this was the case? The biggest problem of on two grounds. One is scale of operation. We cannot produce more than maybe five tons per day paper. That was the largest capacity of a paper mill in our country, where 20,000 tons per day Canadian or Finland industry, they can produce 20,000 tons per day paper mill. So scale of operation, as you know, is always on the beneficial side. The cost of production goes down. And second is continuous upgradation of technology. We never ever had this thinking that we will change with respect to technology, upgrade, cut down the cost. And so what was happening? Our product was not very up to the mark quality, and then it was not competitive. And hence, we suddenly started our small scale paper industry, suddenly they were thrown to the world competition. And then there they realized that we need to upgrade our technological knowledge, and they started looking at labs like CSIR, labs like IITs, and also universities to provide the technological inputs. And hence, when we talk about interaction with the research, that whether we can really develop together with industry. The industry should also have very clear, I want to mention very clearly, industry should unless come out very openly, of course, with guarding your interest, that is commercial interest and this thing, unless industries come out very clearly to share their information about the project development with high say security aspect with university, university will not be able to develop the say technology. I'll tell you why industries are not sponsoring the projects, research projects to universities or to engineering colleges or for that matter any college, because they are lacking the confidence level with this research. I will tell you a story in particularly in Germany. What happens? First of all, in Germany or in the different countries, they develop the technology based on the task force aspect. The task force is formed consisting of experts from different fields. It is never done by a single say, chemical engineer or mechanical engineer. It's a group of people, including finance, environment, sociology, psychology, and they develop the technology perfected in all aspects. And the most important thing is when this technology is developed and up for sale, to increase its acceptance level or confidence level, it is backed by the commercial performance guarantee. The technology developed in German universities by professor is backed by the commercial performance guarantee by the bankers. That means when the industries want to take that technology, invest the money, they get automatically the financial guarantee. If it works with this specification, you will get this benefit. If it fails, you will be compensated like this. So there always the bankers are also involved in research. They finance the bank, they finance the research and the guarantee. This aspect is totally missed in our country, and hence the research acceptance. These industries, they are, what do they do? They fly immediately outside the various exhibitions, try to collaborate, buy the technology, bring the technology with the agreement of guarantee and put up the plan. But we are dependent on this thing. But after 1991, even the technology was not also available. And hence, industry has increased the interaction with institutions, universities at research level. That means PhD. So contractual research, as you know that India is also becoming hub of say global R&D, where we can take up contractual research. CSIR sir is also sitting here, Dr. Rode, where NCL takes a lot of industrial projects sponsored by industries for specific purpose, and basically it is to reach that level that this research is not academically outputting, giving output, but it is also meeting the industries. Industries look at only four aspects: whether their productivity can be improved, their quality of the product can be enhanced, their input cost can be cut down, or they can meet the environmental aspect, energy and so on. And hence, they look at the technologies where they can be competitive in the market. Hence, it is necessary that industries now should identify the various institutions having core competencies in respective areas and should interact. As you know that in US, all MS programs, PhD programs are industry-sponsored projects only, industry-funded projects only, but high degree of security. Because even the professor, what I mean, under the professor, if the two students are working, they do not know on which subject they are working with each other. I mean, and even the team professors are not expected to discuss among themselves at which project and so on. So there is, it's fine, I mean, intellectual property and all these things. But in India, it is high time that the research should reach the confidence level between the institute and the industry. But unless they work together, and what is the bridging aspect is the teacher. The teacher should, as rightly mentioned, that should identify the documentation on what is technologies adopted by the industry, what are the problems associated with those technologies, what is the technological gap, and based upon that, he can define a project supported by industry and conducted by the research. By this way, the interaction can be meaningful for research development, for product development, for product validity, or for that matter, maybe optimization, or there can be many such aspects that can be taken up as a core research, fundamental research applied. So research is going to be the important aspect as far as engineering and technology discipline is concerned. And hence, we should come out with I'm going to now evolve this research policy for engineering and technology where this aspect will be highlighted. In this committee, we have a chairman of CII, the Confederation of Indian Industry. We have Director General of CSIR. We have Director of ISRO also. To formulate this policy now, how engineering programs can help not only solving the problems of the industry, but also helping Startup India, providing technological base, Make in India, and so on. So research aspect is like, okay.
One question is that are these projects, it's definitely time bound, but industry also looks
Yes.
the projects to be time bound.
Very correct. As you know that we also agree to your concern that academicians should have professional approach while dealing with the industrial problems or industrial projects. First is as far as secrecy is concerned, second is time bound is concerned, and third is they should focus on only on the expected outcome of the project, right? And they should be very professionally managed. And one of the then critical skill depends upon writing the technical report and presentation of technical report. So it should be time bound and it should be very well organized in a professional manner. And we do agree that academicians many times lack professional approach, what industries always expect. So definitely we should expect that academicians should adopt the professional approach. Definitely.
I'm Vivek from Praj Industries. I'm handling international projects, and we have covered almost 60 countries for supplying various projects in all chemical plants. We have experienced that per se that one is the attitude and soft skill is a major problem for us also, because even though the person is MTech, no, postgraduate and graduate, is not able to speak, is not able to explain, and also not able to attend the meeting properly. So that is major issue I'm experiencing. Many times it has also happened that because of not explaining in time, the meeting was totally. That is one. Second is the people should know the international standards and the requirements. That is the because when the person is designing, suppose the person has to design equipment, and he is designing in India and designing for the Finland or Sweden is totally different requirement, material requirements, standard requirements. So how to have that attitude, that changing gears for such international, because like a global requirement point of view, you have to have that knowledge or at least attitude to check that design and check that standard and ensure that. That is one. Second is the mainly casual approach for knowledge. If person is learn and afterwards he's not taking going in depth, and overall finish is completing the activities, but 90% completing, but 10% is, and that is when we get a problem, when the material or the project is delivered, because of the minor thing, the project is hampering. So that approach of the person should so that is a one point. I have two more points. That the requirement of material already mentioned. Like the specialized requirement like a vibration, then finite analysis, or there should be a practical project given to people, because many times it is happening that mechanical shaft design and all, people coming, okay, there will not be a direct ready-made, but they should have an approach to how to design it practically. So that in their syllabus, maybe a combined project, maybe multidisciplinary or cross-functional. One project, not only for the mechanical, but other people also should join that project. A combined project can be a solution. I don't know that you are you can tell that. That is what I have.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek.
Sir, I am Sharad Madar. I am from Coconut Multinational. I am planted at Coconut. Nowadays, everywhere the competition is very clear. And only way to make profit or keep your organization in profit is waste reduction, applying lean principles, EPM practices. But I don't know whether these are covered in preparation. So I think now the time came that we should focus on so that with the help of waste reduction and that we can earn some profit.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Rode from NCF, presenting sort of CS of Scientific and Industrial Research. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers who invited here and share my thoughts. And it is really a wonderful
event organized. Now, I think in this all scenario, there are three stakeholders like industry, academia, and students. And it is actually two aspects of this. That is, when the student gets graduated, he looks for job. Another is some of the students, most of the students, they will look for job at the which is a product. Okay, and they put down industry people put down some prerequisites. And in CSR or at NCR, we have been handling all these three types of students. Like undergraduate students, they come for B, particularly for their project work. Then master students and project assistants are even for project work, and PhD students also. So we have been experiencing of issues with them. Now each of these stakeholder has some role or scope to improve actually. So regarding the first requirement like soft skills, so we every day face this problem even for PhD students and more so for graduate students. So I think there is a scope to improve from both the sides because for example, even for the person coming for student coming for the project, after he completes some project, why he is doing the project? It has not been told by the faculty. Okay, it is basically the application of what is learning for his paper or coursework. So it's a practical problem. So that is the first requirement that he doesn't know actually. And then when he completes the write-up, project, so he is not able to conclude or give the highlights in few, you can say, few bullets. So that is lacking. So that has to be told by faculty also why he has been told to go for project work or something like that. And then most importantly, the time given by the universities for doing project work is very very less. In fact, practically no time given. So my suggestion is actually after having experience for so many years, at least 3 months of that last semester should be completely devoted to the project work. And in that, industry also has a role to play. That industry training, it should be of sizable time, like you said, maybe 3 months. But at the same time, industry should encourage by giving some nominal stipend also, like maybe 10,000 for 3 months, and maybe some kind of not surety, but at least a gesture should be seen in the action that if a person does well, he may be absorbed in the same industry. Okay. So that will, I think, benefit both students, academia, and even industry. So some of the industry people, they have this issue that the product coming out of after graduation, we doesn't know what exactly industry needs. So during the course of training itself, they will get some helping hand in the industry as well as the product gets trained, what he wants to deliver at the end of his graduation. So I think maybe there is possible a professor can look into this aspect. And then coming to this soft skills. So soft skills, what happens? The student, it is the responsibility of student as well as faculty. Student has to really keep thinking why he is being told this. Okay, and he should understand what is his strengths are in what area. And this he should start not at the end of fourth year. But suddenly they wake up and start looking for job and what to do and like that. No, when he takes the admission in the first year, why is doing B, why is doing BSc, why is doing MSc, and what he wants to do after that. Okay, so that starts at student level. I think that his awareness for improving his language and other soft skills should start from there. Okay, he witnesses many lectures, he goes to conferences, but I think students, I'm really sad because even for PhD students, I see that daily that they are, I mean, they don't take any lesson from the, or they don't think rather. They are quite clever, they may do well in the examination and all that. And but another thing is actually there should be some example of their own faculty also. I've been sitting in many committees or conferences or assessment and like that. Even the faculties or the people coming for assessment for their course from reputed institutions, you see their presentation, it is all full of text. Okay. So this is the basic point. Presentation should be really only schematic and graphical. So I think this soft skills need to be taught by faculty also. Okay. And then he will do well, I think, in the interview. Then secondly, my just kind of not advice, but some suggestion to students on language skill is actually nowadays you are really lucky because on PCs and software, I mean mobiles, all that spell check and all there. But don't bother, the red underline comes, but the fellow doesn't bother why that red line. Simply goes and pushes. So I think it is better that students should learn themselves, And syntax error also comes, and we are really lucky that in our days we have to sit with dictionaries and all that. Anyway, so coming to R&D part actually, now this is what Sir has elaborated in just before. Actually, it is very rightly said. Now at CSR labs also we face this problem. What happens is we scientists or even faculty we try to remain in their very safe domain. Okay. So what happens is we try to solve the problem for which we know the solutions. It is like maybe like we have box of full of keys and we try to see whether some closed lock can open it. Okay. So and then in this regard, actually nowadays we are at CSR. We have I've been handling many industry projects, and then industry problems we have to understand. And for that, industry has to come open-minded. Okay, what really they want to do, or what they expect. So just yesterday we had a meet with Tata Chemical. So they had come out with some coating, scratch proof coating for their Tata Motors, and which includes graphene composites and all that. So some of our scientists were asking whether it is monolayer, three-layer, five-layer, and all that. So the discussion was going on. Finally, the person said that is not our what we want to know is if we satisfy the customer, it becomes scratch proof. Whether it is multi-layer, one layer, two layer, it doesn't matter. So like that, I think our approach should be, and then industry also should come forward to put down their requirements or what they want actually. And most important thing, as far as the secrecy and other things aspect was covered, I think now in CSR, what we do is actually we try to have agreement MOU. Okay, so that is memorandum of understanding. So under that we do a lot of activities without even funding, and then it is really close guarded, and it is like the trust from both sides. Okay, so I think if that is built and initiated, I think we can have several industry projects coming to the academia also, and even faculty should be more proactive. That's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rohit. I particularly like his advice for the students behind. When you're driving on the road, watch out for red light. When you're using Microsoft Word, watch out for red line. Yeah, any more questions?
I just and one of the things which sir, what students are going to come out of this are actually taught by the teachers. Now AICT has no way of assessing our teachers. We cannot assess them because once you do your ME, they become a teacher, and whatever he performs or doesn't perform, he continues to become a professor and a principal and whatever. Now, there is no continuous improvement program like I said, even for the teachers. There is no way of assessment and evaluation of teachers. The sixth pay commission says that if he publishes 2 papers, he should give it the increment. Now, there are agencies publishing papers who take money and publish a paper, and you get 2 papers published and you get your increment. What is the delivery? Nobody knows. He comes, most of the teachers I see in my experience has been giving notes. Same notes which his father probably got in engineering college, his father. Because syllabus unfortunately doesn't change. Full University syllabus changed only 5 or 8 years ago. And this dynamism, teachers' improvement, teachers' proactiveness, teacher is not even familiar to the requirements of the industry. The curriculum is made when I was member of the academic council of the University of Pune. The board of studies did not have anybody from the industry. Now, if the curriculum and the methodology and the system is built for industry, and we do not have anybody in the board of studies from the industry, from commerce, from banking, what are we going to deliver? What are we going to make? And then, same teachers, same professors, after 20 years, tell us what should be studied when it has already become outdated. Because on the other day, I was sitting in my purchase committee meeting, and the kind of equipment that I have to buy is not even seen even in the museum. For example, they wanted a AM tester. Now, where is AM?
I mean, there are so many equipment, so many curriculums I needed to buy, and I was actually laughing at myself that nobody, in fact, sir, most of the equipment you are suggesting by AICT and Pune University is not seen on the shop floor when the student goes. When the student goes and he doesn't know how to, this professor doesn't know how to center a job, and then he goes for a CNC machine there, there's a big disturbance. So one is I feel that we must have a process, AICT must have a process of award and punishment for teachers. What happens? There is no punishment for teachers. There is only awarding, and that is the next big issue. We have no right to stop the increment for more than 1 year. And then he again asks for an increment. So whether AICT has a continuous assessment evaluation system for the teachers, whether they are in tune with the requirements and the knowledge of the world. In fact, you will be surprised that when I started working with, when there was a syllabus change and MBA brought in digital technology, most of the professors of MBA didn't have email address. And I'm here trying to make, now when I look at the PowerPoint presentation of my professors, it's a matter of shock because they only PowerPoint presentation in words, like you said, lot of text, and it is red. And then every college I go, they proudly say, sir, we are doing 100% PowerPoint presentation. What do? They read about it. It becomes easier. They don't even understand there are actually Microsoft PowerPoint tutorials saying 7 by 7. But nobody knows that. And so we put 10,000 words in one side. The students can't read. Students are not allowed to argue with the teacher, let me tell you, because you've given so many internal marks to the teachers. We would like, sir, your help that unless the most important major component in the teaching learning process is the teacher, he is constantly updating his knowledge, is assessed, is evaluated, and his knowledge is constantly updated. Sorry, sir, we will not be able to achieve all. Second thing which was mentioned is about the attitude, which is very important. Our curriculum does not teach our students how to think. It only teaches students what to think. So they are coming in a box and they cannot think outside the box. So a new problem coming, they don't know what to do. The attitude only change when you bring in a kind of a curriculum, whether it is problem-based learning, integrated learning, whether it is whatever it is, so that the teachers are getting involved. They prepare a case scenario, and whether it is project-based learning, problem-based learning, integrated learning, that the student develops an attitude to think multidimensionally outside the box in a holistic manner. So that is what is my suggestion. Thank you, sir.
Just very small, one more thing. I think students also need to understand, and I think at the same time in institutes, teachers, principals, failure is an option. Innovation, innovate. If you fail, yes, it is still yes. But doing something, you can at least write in a paper that I've done this thing, it does not work. That's the guideline for the next person not to do that. I think that also is a very important point when we're trying to inculcate research and innovation in our syllabuses. Failure is always an option because anybody tries to, oh, my answer has to be this. No, you may not get an answer. It's fine. That's an acceptable answer. I think that's what probably you learn towards say, a lot in the higher education. But this also should be probably brought in at the undergraduate level, where students should be allowed to work on practicals, where not everybody works on the same parameter. People work on different parameters, and sometimes you may not get an answer.
Myself, Anand Yadav. I'm working in R&D department. My question is to Satpal sir. Is it possible to make a college as a technology partner to the industry? Because so many people are asking for the attitude and so many things. I think many people are required to balance education. It will get the attitude, leadership. It will have a presentation. It is requirement of a industry. So is it possible to have a college as a technology partner? And second thing is that uh, many of the colleges like COEP, VJPI, in admission process, most of the people wants to go there. Being we are sitting in rural engineering college, we are here. The people who are having a mark in average, it is very close to the 60-70%, and it is not possible to expect from them to very high level research. So my expectation is that my rural engineering college is also having a technology partner with industry. Can you make a mandatory to industry? At least you have to make a collaboration with two colleges. So it can be possible to have an interaction with industry. So my suggestion is that to make a force on industry to have an interaction with the colleges.
Uh, Thank you everyone for the wonderful participation, both asking. Any, both, yes. Oh, yes, that's it. Okay.
I'm Prakash Deshmukh. I was born here in Loni. I studied in IIT Kharagpur and then joined HL, and then I retired as managing director. For some time I was chair. I will share my personal experiences. Since I have been into industry for almost 40 years, more than 40 years, and I have been interacting with the educational institutions. I am on the board of IIT Indore also. Now, I was lucky to go for campus selections, and we used to go to REC, Raurkela, Burla Engineering. Now, we have been blaming each other. Industry says that the engineers are not employable, and the students are not getting adequate openings into the industry to interact. Now, I have been particularly lucky because when I was doing my BTech, I had a problem from Karshila copper plant. It was a live problem. The problem was very simple. The sludge, what they were throwing out, they felt that if somebody can extract out little more copper from that, it would be helpful to the industry. So the project was given to us. We were very happy because we had an industrial problem, a live problem into our hands. We worked very hard. We did the work even in the night, maybe up to 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, doing experimentation. And finally, we got a very simple solution. We managed to extract out about 93% of the copper from the sludge. And we realized that as a byproduct, we are able to extract out 60% nickel. And the output was directly usable by the company. It gave us a lot of pleasure. And we had a lot of self-confidence that we can do something. This is one aspect. The other one which I would like to address this issue, because I understand that now training is not compulsory, training in the industry during summer. And I think it is only 1 year. I stand to correction in case I'm wrong. When we were at IIT, it was a 5-year course, and we had to compulsorily do 2 months industrial training in second year, third year, and fourth year. Compulsory. In my second year, I opted to do the training program in the campus itself. And in the 8 weeks, we had 1 week each in each of the workshops. The product they decided was the professors' bungalows did not have the gate, so the cows and buffaloes would get in. So they decided that we will get the gates. Now, to make the gate, we had to make the latch in the casting. We had to bend the rods in the forging shop. We had to do the welding. We had to do the machining of the latches. And mind you, nobody came to our help. They told that you will have to actually run the machines and produce it yourself. And we were so enthusiastic about that opportunity that I'm sure nobody wanted the lab assistant to do our job. And we actually did that job. So you get that confidence that you can work on a lathe machine. Nobody needs to teach you something because of your practical experience. When I joined HN, I was posted to tool room. I was looking after the heat treatment, plating, welding, all these operations. And I could do every operation with my own hands. And in fact, it so happened that if the cutting tools are to be pressed, carbide tube pressing, if the tool is very critical, they will say, अरे पेशेंट्स आपको रिक्वेस्ट करो क्रिटिकल टूल है वो करके देंगे. So that is to be the situation. Now that sort of attitude, I find now that experience of 2 months in the industry teaches a lot of things. I did my training in Cisco, and we had to sign the register or sign the attendance 4 times in the shift. That was only to ensure that we do not bunk, and we do our training program very seriously. Now that kind of approach or attitude is not there, and consequently what is happening, the gap between industry and the colleges is widening. During the campus selection, we asked one of the electrical student, how does the tube light work? And he says, put the button down and the tube light will work. Now, is that the quality of the students we are producing? We had one more colleague who was a mechanical engineer, 70% marks. Those days, 70% marks, it was difficult to get. He comes to the shop floor and asks the operator, is it a milling machine or a lathe? Now, if a mechanical graduate is going to ask such questions, that the officer had to leave his job, resign and go because he asked such a foolish question. Now, it reflects on the institute from which he has passed out. Now, my association with this college started about a year back when I was nominated on the board. And one of the points which I had made a mention and which has been followed very meticulously, I must express my thanks to them for taking the suggestion very seriously, was the communication skills of the teachers. This was the first issue I said. We have been discussing to teach in the school, you need a B.Ed degree. You are trained to teach the students. But in engineering colleges, you don't need any training or any qualification. So, you don't need any qualification. Now, invariably, what will happen is very small percentage of teachers are those who are actually interested in teaching. And let me tell you, you need an aptitude to teach. It has to come from within. It is not that you don't get a job, so you join the engineering college and you are asked to teach. And that is where you ruin the career of the students. So I had laid emphasis and they have taken action. They are taking classes for the teachers. I remember our IIT Kharagpur head of the department, electrical. He would not take any classes for the students, but he would take classes for the teachers. All the professors, lecturers, he would take the class only to tell them how to teach the subjects. Now, that is very important. If you get a good teacher, you will start liking the subject. If you start liking the subject, it is going to be your strength. You will do fantastic things in that particular subject. And it is purely coming from your teachers. Now, the students also, you have to be attentive in the class. What is the teacher teaching? And I am against, reading it out from the books. You come, you mug up, you vomit, and that's all the studies. You get your degree. No. In Kharagpur, we used to have the weekly viva. You do a practical experiment, you complete the experiment, you submit it next week. At that time, you will be questioned. Viva with 2 persons, a question is asked to one, Whatever he replies, the second person is asked, is he right? If he doesn't answer, you have to answer. So, this kind of a thing. And it is literally, you have to be very clear cut on your fundas. You have to understand the subject, then only you can answer. And unfortunately for me, my partner is to be class topper. So if he can't answer, there was no way that I could answer. So I used to tell sir, if the topper can't answer, don't ask me those questions. So anyway, the point is that it takes two hands to clap. Now, similarly, when I was at HL Nasik, we used to say that we don't get good students, people are not showing interest in aeronautics. And I used to say that if you say that my factory is secret, defense establishment and nobody should see, how will the students get interest? So we had started. Let the industries come and see the factory, let the students get interested in aeronautics, and then only you will get good students. Today in India, if you look at the industry, engines, you take any engine. Why only aircraft? We are very, very poor at manufacture of engines. You take the tanks, you take the aircraft, you take anything. We are importing the technologies and manufacturing these. I happen to interact with a British gentleman, an Indian. He is a professor of aero engines, 70 years old. So I asked him, and the same question I asked to the Russians, because I had a lot of interactions with the Russians. Why is it that India is not in a position to produce the engines? Aero engines. At that time I had asked specifically aero engines. And he said you are making a fundamental mistake. And if you don't correct it, for another 50 years you will not produce it. We have an organization called GTRE, Gas Turbine Research Establishment, which is supposed to design and develop the engines. We have spent tens of thousands of crores of rupees, not even one engine has come out. And it is because we are not addressing the issue correctly. The answer was both these sides. The Russians gave me the same answer as the British. And he said that you have to have, it's a very specialized field. Engines is a specialized field. You have to have a dedicated institution which teaches you only the aero engines. And one is the educational institution, second is the design house, and third is the industry. And all three have to be co-located. If you do that, you will be successful. Otherwise, another 100 years and you will not produce anything, no engines. So the interaction between the educational institution, the industry is a must. Now we had some questions about industry, industries being forced to, adopt some institutions. My counter question to this is, why can't the institution be so good that the industry comes to you and gives you the problem? You become so good that industry will say, let me go to areas and they will solve my problem. Today we have this similar situation wherein I think HL has joined hands with 3 of the IITs, but they are for specific problems. Okay, I need research to be done in this area, I go to them. So similarly, the CSIR labs are also doing the similar thing. You have a specific problem, go to them. They are not expensive. They are not at all expensive. When I was attending a seminar in Bombay IIT, this question came up. They said it will be very expensive. We said no, it is not expensive. And today the government is opening out. They are giving funds. You come out with a project which is useful technology for the country. They will finance you 90%. You put in only 10%. And in case you don't get orders after that, you develop something and you don't get the orders within 2 years, if the 10% is also reimbursed to you. So the government is coming out with good proposals, and I'm sure with he being at the helm of the affairs, the things definitely will change. There is a need for industry to look at the educational institutions. Yes, they have not been looking at them, trying to resolve their own problems, but things can be done better if the industry joins. A classic example is single crystal blade technology. It's a technology available with hardly 4-5 countries. And last 25 years, we were trying to get it from some country or the other, and everybody refused. So we decided that government said that let us develop this technology. We said we will do it at Koraput. We took help of DMRL, Defense Metallurgical Research Lab at Hyderabad. Joint hands 180 crores. A technology which has been denied for last 25 years. The Frenchies took 5 years to develop in the lab, another 5 years to convert the lab model into industry model, and they took 10 years. Now, when we joined hands, we got 180 crore sanction. We said there will be no lab model because HL Koraput is a manufacturing unit. Let's do the research directly on the shop floor. And within 3 years, we had mastered the technology. Now, today we have two different routes of manufacture of the first stage turbine effect. It's a very critical technology. Without that, you can never produce the energy. So, the communication skills, the interactions have to be a lot more. The visits teach you a lot. Industry should come forward to say, okay, you send your boys, let them see my industry. By looking at the industry, nobody can learn anything. No secrets can be lost. We were having this problem that everything is secret in nature. So I asked my people, if I give you 50% of the drawings, can you produce the aircraft? And the answer is no. I said, why do you talk about this drawing will be seen, that drawing will be seen? Let them see anything. In fact, I remember when I joined HL, one of the head of the department of aeronautical engineering in IIT Madras, he was addressing us. He said, he was the director on the HL board. So he said that for my department, I asked HL, can you give me a photograph or some big sketch of the engine? And they said, sorry, it can't be given, it is secret. He said, I made a mistake. I should have asked Pakistan. They would have given. So, few suggestions like, better interaction between the industry-oriented projects rather than doing some theoretical projects, and communication skills, I think. Thank you.
There's one more thing I would suggest. I think in curriculum we should add ISO systems as the procedures. But most of the companies run their systems with the ISO procedures. Normally the procedure is system is what define a plan, follow the plan. If you're away from the plan, you find out where how away you are from the plan, make the corrections, and then automatically you're improving on your systems. This procedure should be added in the curriculum itself. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. To be very frank, the problem of quantity has created a problem of quality, and there is no solution to this aspect except for modifying our systems. If you look at AP syllabus, I've been involved in designing the syllabus since 1985. It has changed several times. The present syllabus, on paper, it is good. But what practice? It's a workshop practice. Whether it's civil engineering, you call it workshop, you don't call it workshop, civil engineering practical, whatever you want to call it, it's a workshop practice or experimental practice, let's call it, instead of calling the conventional mechanical workshop. 95% of our experiments have become demo experiments. And Professor, if you take this into account, all your problems will be solved. If a student is not getting an opportunity to work on the machines that are available in either in the civil department lab or in the workshop or anything, he is not going to be useful in any way. The quality of workshops is also a problem. Fortunately, some of institutes like yours or mine, we have got fairly good workshops. But again, the industry, please visit our workshops and tell us what we should buy or donate us something so that our students could use. I don't know how many colleges have CNC machines. A CNC machine for an industry has a life for say 4 years, 5 years, not more than that. Then they have to improve on new systems. So why not give it to some college and get some kind of benefit out of it? That's my very humble suggestion, that
please look at our workshops, then only our students will work. Today's students are willing to work late at night also, provided they are getting any opportunity. If they are allowed to work in the workshop, they will come out with some new ideas, they will develop some new products, something will come out, some innovation will take place. Okay, that's about first year FE. I'm not going to do ACTB and straight will jump to ME. Long ago, our ME was 1.5 year ME. Some of you may be of that generation. Then it became 2 year ME. There was a lot of resistance, but we all supported it. The concept was first year was theory and studying in the classroom, and the entire second year was given for the project. Now it has become in the third semester also there are a few subjects. So the attendance of the student has to be there in the college, and there are project reviews and this and that, so many things are there. In a way, it's a good system of continuous evaluation of the project also, but a student doesn't get sufficient time and the industry is not at all happy with this situation. Industry wants 1 full year, a student should be with me and then only he will be of some use to either society or institute or the industry. So, Subprofessor, please think on these two suggestions if you can, and thank you.
With a lot of suggestions and discussion, I like to conclude by just summarizing. It is a clear indication that we should work on 3 levels. One is curriculum, second is executor, that is teachers, and third is method of evaluation of learning process. As far as curriculum is concerned, there is no doubt that there should be participation in framing of the syllabus by industries. So, on board of study, who is responsible for framing the syllabus, experts from industry to the tune of maybe 30 to 40% should be included. Okay. Second important thing is syllabus, even if it is framed, it should have ability to upgrade itself, that is, it should be inbuilt system. Now it is possible that at the end of the subject curriculum, there should be a slot mentioning that recent development of that subject is a part of the syllabus itself. So it shows that recent development in that subject should be studied by the teacher and should be taught by the teacher and should be learned by the student. So there should be inbuilt mechanism to upgrade the syllabus continuously, because framing syllabus one time will not take, will not be helpful. In the curriculum, there should be clear slot for skill development. Skill development cannot be one subject alone, because there are sets of skills, and at every level there are different sets of skills. You cannot teach the final year student skill which is expected to be taught in first year. First year after 10+2, students need different sets of skills in first year, second year, third year, final year. So I suggest that there should be, say, open electives dedicated to skill development at higher and higher level as the person progresses to final year. Okay? The most important aspect is, while learning, there should be, as you know, in a typical 4 years program of engineering, the student takes 40 theory subjects and 25 practicals. Some subjects may not have practical or lab, what you say. Unless in order to make them seriously doing, understanding why they are learning 40 subjects. Why 4 subjects in first semester, 4 subjects in second semester, and so on. It is interdependent of the subject prerequisite of the next subject. For example, first year the students rush to first year physics, chemistry, mathematics, finish off. They don't understand why they have learned this subject. So that means there should be continuous mapping of outcome of every subject. Objective of subject and outcome of the subject should be mapped very clearly in order to map that whether he has developed some computational skill or he has design skill and so on. Applied physics subject is the base for third year heat transfer and instrumentation control in final year. But they don't understand first year physics is over, so I am nothing to do with this subject. So that they should understand connectivity, prerequisite and sequencing of the subject while they are learning. Similarly, practicals they do, as sir has rightly mentioned many times, demo type. But all colleges should execute the laboratory work very seriously. I remember in those days, engineering, when Mr. Deshmukh will agree with me, the practicals used to be of 6 hours. Drawing practical or engineering practical, it is now 2 hours. So I don't know how a teacher is explaining the theory behind the practical and the practicals to learn and performing practicals and then doing the calculation and then writing the record. Everything has to be done on the same day and hence 6 hours. Now 2 hours and I need that we should do it very seriously. Again the role of teacher comes in picture. So as far as exposure to industries is concerned, that there should be, again, like we have to give skill component from first year to final year, we should also have to give the exposure to industry component every year. First year he may not be able to appreciate what's going on in the industry, but at least once or twice visit to the industry in first year, he will get the feel of the industrial culture and industrial environment. Second year onwards, as he learns more and more subjects, he will try to see what he has learned in the industry. So second year, third year, final year, we should have industrial component either in the way of project, training, visits, guest lectures, and so on. But this up to 20% should be covered by the expert from industry, and the student should undertake the training not in the final third year or final year only, but every year. And in that case, the internship concept, which we are missing here. Most of the foreign countries, they have very effective internship projects available with the industry. So industry should come forward for not only giving training to students, but also teachers and interacting with them on the internship basis project. This is also is going to be part of the curriculum. And as rightly mentioned that yes, technology partner, definitely one can officially take up one-to-one college, industry and college as partner. As you know that many times the project at master level, as I mentioned that it should be whole 1 year project. I'll tell you one very important thing that a graduate engineer, whether he is taught many times, CNC machine, I was discussing with Mr. Dinesh Keskar, who was handling MRO project of Boeing in Nagpur. He said even this CNC machine is outdated 15 years back. What we use in Boeing has much advanced state of art in machines. Then I said, very good. My students will come to see your machines and they will only learn those machines, and if possible, the operator will explain them how to operate it and the precision work that can be done. So the second year MTech project should be dedicated to the problem solving project for industry, and for that, as constantly Dr. Patil has been emphasizing on the role of teacher. I do agree with this. Who finally is the catalyst or key factor or key expert is only teacher. Teacher frames the syllabus, so he should be updated with what is happening in industry, what industry needs, as well as what in academic field is happening. So that he should be updated. He should participate in the syllabus framing. He should participate in execution and by upgrading with the help of technology enabled learning. We are missing now. We are again very lucky to have lectures from most learned faculty in India and abroad available online. These students do not come to the class to hear the same thing what is written in the book. They want to know something different and in different manner and different ways. Application. And hence the technology enabled learning, whether it is NPTEL program, national program of technology learning or technology learning is available online 24 hours. These are the expert lectures by IIT professors or abroad also. It's also available. So basically, the teacher should upgrade their knowledge as well as teaching methodology using this technology enabled learning and teaching process. And I always believe in that final year project of BTech also should be of 6 months duration, but the project should be defined at the beginning of the final year. Guides should be allotted, topic should be allotted, and continuous monitoring evaluation. And I am taking up this also, as I explained, that we have large number of projects at BTech level, or BE level, MTech level, and PhD. Whether these projects can be converted into patents. For that, there should be a committee evaluating these projects worth filing patents. And hence, when we talk about BTech, MTech, and PhD, this project, sometime a professor can take it in integrated manner. Final year BTech, he can give some basic aspect to be studied. Master program, he can give 1 year dedicated with experimental work, some modeling simulation. And if he wants to do further development, he can take it as a PhD problem and should be finally end into patent. Even according to me, the BE level project cannot be only last 1 year, as mentioned rightly that we should teach them to think right from the beginning, the engineering talent. What is important is at the third year level, there should be a slot for the student to work on some innovative idea out of the syllabus. What we do, we teach them and ask them to learn what is given in the syllabus. We don't give them opportunity to do something out of the syllabus. So there should be one slot available. It's called maybe free elective of minor or some say minor research or mini project. He can work on any project of his interest out of the syllabus. So there should be this slot in the third year level. And the most important is, I expected the industries that to attract engineering talent, good engineering talent, what our engineers after graduation they are doing, either they are going towards MBA, marketing, finance, IT, and so on. So core industries are not getting good engineers for their activities. So again, there is a great need for students to understand that there is a great career in your engineering field, and for that, the professors should create a sense of pride among the student about the engineering profession. Otherwise, if you see all IITians, either they go abroad, MS, PhD, settle in America, or they go to finance, selling credit cards and so on, and but their engineering talents are not utilized for core, and it is necessary now when we are talking about make in India and so on. The last point is, what about fast learners? Why students should spend 4 years to become engineer? But sir was mentioning only creating the only credits, that he is a very brilliant chap, and he wants to complete 40 credits required to become engineer in 2 years. A fast learner in America is highly paid. Why you should spend 2 years to become MTech? If he is a brilliant student, he can complete in 1 year also. If he's a brilliant student, he can complete in 2 years the graduate. There should be slot for fast learner in our country, which is not there. 35% वाले को भी हम 4 साल लगाते हैं and 90% को भी बोलते हैं 4 साल ही लगाओ. So basically we are wasting the resources, in engineering resources or talent resources by fixing them in the framework. So I'm trying to do that there should be some start in which the possibility of fast learner. And the last one is many times, yes, industries should come forward with open mind for giving opportunity that yes, you need employable student. I tell you, even after graduate students, after 40 subjects and 25 practicals, when he goes to industry, he will not be able to see what he has learned in 4 years. I give example of chemical engineering. We teach mass transfer, the distillation column to binary solution separation. Not a single column in downstream processing of petrochemical, there is binary solution. They have multi-component, most complicated system. Now the students think that ये तो मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं, और जो पढ़ा है, this is the outcome of our system. We first learn and then try to find out the job based upon what we have learned. We don't learn what job requires, and hence it is necessary that we have continuous reforms in our not only curriculum, teaching learning process and also outcome. And hence graduate level students need definitely lot of say training and fine tuning with respect to respective fields like pharmaceutical, petrochemical, but we can reduce that training period time from 1 year to maybe 6 months or 2 months when we train them during their 4 years. Second thing is for postgraduate, it is expected that their vision is broadened now. Understanding of subject knowledge is much better. Otherwise, people don't go for master's program with interest. They want either degree only and so on. But no, to enhance at the higher level of knowledge, they should do master's program, and PhD is thorough. One has to come out with process and products to be converted. And I'm sure that when we are talking about creating entrepreneurs, why a professor with his research scholar and somebody from industry join hand to start a new business? If I am expert in one field, I can develop technology, and there is my research student and supported by industry, why three can join hands and start a new startup, which is knowledge driven. Instead of waiting for the technology from abroad and then so I'm trying to put these components in PG education and research. I take your all suggestions and I'm going to give you my email address. Those who are interested in again sending the what you call suggestion, kindly send that vsubkal@gmail.com. vsubkal@gmail.com. Anytime anybody can send a suggestion, which is going to be part of the policy paper on PG education and research in engineering and technology nationwide, considering the global context. I don't want to see now that we are producing only skilled persons for the whole world. We are not here to produce skilled laborers for the country, from the whole world, but it is we want to create the academic leaders for the world actually by this method of higher learning. And never ever think that a person having different background is becoming highly successful in different fields. Whether a metallurgical engineer can become Microsoft CEO, but that doesn't mean that it is only the analytical mind and critical thinking ability that has given this engineering background. We will be more successful if we focus on our own chosen field based upon our own education. We don't have to divert. I mean, no point in diverting you guys from after graduating electronics telecommunication and then doing finance and then competing with the BCom guy who comes from then BCom and then finance. It's not a good choice. So I request you all that you become part of this mission of developing the policy paper on engineering and technology, PG education and research, and make this mission successful. Thank you very much for the opportunity given. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Certainly, your address goes a long way in inspiring us to strive hard and achieve more.
Good evening, everybody. And we are at the rather end of this session. Before we conclude, and the vote of thanks is to be given. The first, we would like to felicitate Dr. Kapka, Deshmukh sir. Already that we did it as a part of the Pravara Education Society, but here at the Industry Institute Interaction Forum for Pravara Engineering College. So we would like to honor, please. Then okay. Prakash Deshmukh, now I will request Dr. Ashok Patil sir to felicitate our most respectable and the invited guests from the industry. It is a token of the respect from we as the Pravarites, and it is a rather convention at the Pravara. Very well. Carry back to the country. Please stay back. Don't leave the hall. The respective student coordinator, please collect the bag and keep it in the car. Protocol officer. The live telecast of the today's program is available. Right now it is a live telecast on the pravara.in and pravaraengc.org.in. Also you can see this program later on at any moment on this YouTube, and it is under the Industry Institute Summit at the Pravara Engineering. The title is Industry Institute Summit at Pravara Rural Engineering. Now I will request Major General Bali to propose a vote of thanks. After the vote of thanks, the cup of tea is arranged in the room which is exactly opposite to this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our chairman, Alasar, and our executive chairman, Dr. Vikhe Patil, it is my great pleasure and honor to propose a vote of thanks for this very wonderful afternoon, which you will all agree was full of insights. I must begin by expressing our deep appreciation for Dr. Sapkal. You will agree that the small glimpse that we got into his thinking and approach towards higher education, higher technical education, has been most illuminating. And I'm not saying these words merely because these words are to be said. I truly mean it. That personally for me, listening to him this afternoon was the most thrilling experience, because what we heard were truly outstanding inputs, both at a conceptual plane, all the macro issues, as well as on the practical plane. And if you can take away 10% from it, I think we'll be far better off. I also wish to thank all the participants, those who participated by listening more than maybe contributing, and others who contributed their wonderful views and questions. I am going to take this opportunity to get a little biased and mention 3-4 people very quickly, not because they are more important or less important than others. Like I said, I'm biased. Dr. Lalit Shirsagar I want to mention because, like I said, when I was coming here, he was one of the first principals who gave me the opportunity to visit his college, listen to him, and try to understand what this education system is all about. Mr. Inderpal Singh, because we forgot to mention your name when we started, so I want to flag that right now. And finally, a person I very highly respect, most highly respect, Mr. Prakash Jagtap and his daughter Rajita. I must tell you that he was completely indisposed, and then I got an SMS in the morning that though he is indisposed, he holds this system and this place in such high regard that he still decided to drive up to this place. So a special thank you, but thank you to everyone who participated. Second last, thank you to the great organizer, Dr. Jagirdar, and his very wonderful team. It is rarely, I rarely see a military-like position outside the military. But if you take it as a compliment, then really well done. Thank you very much, and thank you from all of us. And above all, the best students in the world, the Pravara students sitting behind. I've never seen better behaved, quieter students in all my life. You have true potential to become winners. Thank you. Thank you all.